So, congrats to so many of you today. It was a busy day out of the blue. I made a little over 3,000. I still have some unrealized profits overnight. ITKG, big multi-month breakout above the October highs at 72. It's now at 76. They announced that their partner has met the requirements of this big order and they expect a significant order in the near future. So I love that. I love buy on rumor, sell on news because now it's like, there's a lot of people who doubt this company and they're like, oh, this company, it always spikes and then it comes back down. They, quote, have this revolutionary new age plastic. It's been in some cars like the Fisker, but Fisker went out of business. So it's like, you don't know if this technology is real and if this stock is actually going to make it. Now that they say they are on the lookout for the significant order, it's such a beautiful, anticipatory kind of setup where I am not going to hold this stock through to when they announce this contract. But the fact that they say that we have this significant order coming, that puts a very clear catalyst, coming in the future. No different than RMGN, where it's been spiking here, where they didn't report earnings. They said, look, we're about to report great earnings, and they teased it, and that has led to the initial spike, but then it just keeps going in anticipation of the actual earnings, which is in 2 days. And I'm so proud of so many of you for buying this and nailing it. The other day I had the perfect buy alert at 160. Today I missed it because I was dealing with ITKG. And then we also have a short AMRN where I was shorting this yesterday on the first down day at 286, and I played it like a wuss. I made a few cents a share. Today dropped 50 cents a share. And I love that students are making more than me. Let me just call out a few students. I just copy and paste these out of the chat room. Here's Horner Sag. He actually made 600 on Arco, done for the day. And that's awesome when, after 20 minutes, he's done for the day making 600. Mark Muniz, this is awesome. He was short 1,500 shares overnight, and he actually held AMRN. I make mistakes, okay? I had the right idea, shorting AMRN first down day, but I make mistakes, and that happens. That is my life. That's why I got into teaching, because I said, look, if I can make 4.2 million and I'm missing trades here, I'm covering too soon, I'm missing a trade, I'm like, oh my God, if I teach what I know, there's got to be people out there who can do better than me. And now, my top trading challenge student, Tim Grattani, a few thousand into 2.5 million now in 4 years, better than the initial 1.65 million that I made in my first 4 years. So it's working. Here is Dion E on RMGN at 182 out at 203. Daughter, I like this. At 10:16 a.m., he saw that AMRN, this is it, can't hold gains, could be a big down day, and he was dead on as AMRN tanked all day. Z-Money was in RMGN at 179, out at 195. Sold too quickly because it did go up to 220. So he could have made another, 250 bucks, but he still made 160. That's okay. I want to show you guys, not just to brag about subscribers making money, but to show you that it's okay to mistime things. I mistime things all the freaking time, okay? I totally had RMGN at 160 the other day, and I sold some in the 170s, and then I sold some in the 190s. It's okay, I made 4 grand. Whether you make 160, 200, 300, 500, 4 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand, it's not about being perfect. It's about trying to take the meat of the move and trying to capture as much as you can. And this is cool too. Dave Cash is not having the best of luck trading. Going to take a break and finish watching How to Make Millions. I'm on DVD number 8. Everything makes a lot more sense, but I'll still trying to get the hang of it. Sold CERE way too early. Could have made my 10% if I waited 20 minutes more. It's okay. It's okay. I have to say this to so many people because if you're on the right track, that says a lot. I was on the right track with my AMRN short yesterday at 286. I covered too soon. I could have made freaking 20% today. Could have made 5 grand. That would have been nice. But I covered too soon. It's okay. Here's Tony 6. I love this. Been watching all your DVDs for the last 2 weeks. Even did an 8-hour marathon one night. Pretty sure my wife hates your voice. I get this a lot. Wives and girlfriends hate my voice. But tell them, guess what? I'm teaching you a skill here that's going to change your life, make you financially independent over time. So she's going to love my voice in the end. She's going to be like, oh, This new house, this new boat, this new car, this trip, oh, it's because of Tim's teachings. And then she'll like my voice. So tell her that. Um, Here is Big Dog. He doesn't even know how to short. And he says, thank you for preparing us all the time. AMRN made a couple $100 quick on shorting. And he's just learning. That's great when you can make money learning. That is what I say all the time. You don't need to go to school for 5, 10 years, get into 5, 6 figure student debt. You know, all of my stuff, even if you buy every DVD, every newsletter that I have, you can't spend more than a few $1,000s on education with me. And you can make it all back within a few days, sometimes even one day when there's, a really good play. But this is how you do it. This is how I've made my millions. This is how my top students have made their millions. A few hundred, a few $1,000s in a day. Cool Shades shorted AMRN at 290, covered at 250. Made 40 cents a share on 600 shares, 240 bucks. That's fantastic. I'm going to highlight these again and again and again because Wall Street doesn't care about making $200. I know a lot of you guys would, okay? So let's just do the math right here, real quick. 600 shares times 290. So would you like to invest $1,700 in one day, and actually like one hour? In the first hour of trading, you make 240 bucks. That's pretty sweet. Here's Great Crusader, bought RMGN at 173, held overnight, then sold on 192. Third of three Sneds. I don't even know these usernames. Got out of RMGN at 209 for $600 profit. Mark Muniz made 650. And Al was on. He sent me a video the other day. He's from Kuwait, and he has tripled his money. He's a new challenge student. In just a few weeks, he's tripled from $1,500 to $5,000. And this is a great thing where he says, I locked in $300 profits on ITKG. I wanted to go long overnight, but I'm traveling at the market open. I don't want to take the risk of not knowing what will happen. That's awesome. Okay? If you can lock in a few $100s without overnight risk, especially when you're traveling, you do it again and again and again. That's awesome. I'm so proud of you students. Whether you time it right, whether you're learning, it's all a process. AMRN, perfect, supernova straight out of my DVDs. First down day, you shorted in the 280s. Today, perfect crack. I wouldn't have even lasted. Even if I had held my short overnight, I would have covered probably right here at like 265 and locked in, $2,000 instead of, what did I make, like 300 or 400 yesterday. So there's no way I would have waited till this, but it's kind of cool to see that these stocks, can move further. Even when I trade it like, a freaking coward. That's what I do. I trade cowardly over and over and over again. RMGN, I was actually thinking about buying it in here, but it just, they have earnings in 2 days, and I was like, no clear catalysts. I didn't see this big morning spike coming, but I did buy it right here at like 204 on the dip. Some people are asking, Tim, why didn't you buy it at 180? Why are you buying it at 204? Well, I was busy with ITKG. I can't have more than a few positions at a time. I'm trying to watch every single tick. And so I missed RMGN, and I only found it because people were talking about it in the chat room. But even buying in the 204s, I sold at roughly break even. And then, 20 minutes later, it goes up 20 cents a share. So I could have, would have, should have made 10% on my money. Although it's tough to buy after a big morning spike with no clear catalyst. I really like ITKG better because you had the morning spike, but you have this significant order that's coming. So you have a clear catalyst that's coming. And look how beautifully it based. It went down here to 67 cents. So at no time was I down. I was buying it in the 64s. And 63s. Even if I had sold it at the worst time here, I'm still making 2 cents a share. But then it kept uptrending and it actually broke out towards the end of the day. I know some of you guys are confused in the chat room. I've gotten a few emails already from people saying, Tim, you're long the stock. And, in the chat room I was saying, please don't break out, please don't break out. And everyone else is rooting for a breakout because they're long and everybody wants to make the most money. I didn't want it to break out. Because I know myself and I know that, when it gets to 77 cents and my target is 80 cents, I'm going to be tempted to sell. And that's exactly what I did. So I sold half my position from the 60s at 77 just before the market closed, just because I just like locking in profits just to play it safe. I locked in nearly $2,000 in profits, and that's good, especially when you really have no idea with this stock. They have upcoming orders. there's an analyst report, but the analyst report is a compensation. It's a technical breakout. So, good luck to you guys who are shorting. I wouldn't short a technical breakout with, you're on the eve or maybe 2 or 3 or maybe even a week, 2 or 3 days away from announcing this significant order. I wouldn't want to be short. But when I'm up, two, three, $4,000 on a small position, I take it. And I locked in half of my profits just to play it safe because I want to not just lock in profits for myself, but I also want to teach you guys good trading habits. That's why I trade and teach. I teach from what I do, and what I do, follows the rules and DVDs, webinars, video lessons galore. So awesome. Congrats to everybody on ITKG. Always on, safe travels. I'm always looking out for my Trading Challenge students. You guys are my VIPs. Tomorrow, Trading Challenge students, get excited because we have a live Trading Challenge webinar. It's going to be crazy. I had some RMGN. I actually just sold it after hours just because it's tough for me to teach in a webinar and kind of audible everything I'm doing and looking at, and also trade not just one position, but two positions. So I got out of RMGN. I made a few $100 more after hours just to lock in some profits, just to simplify my life, really. And now ITKG, I would love to see another morning spike. Now the fact that it's a technical breakout, it's got a catalyst, it's got strong volume, all the weekends have been pushed out the past 4 days. This is fantastic because it was uptrending and breaking out, and it couldn't break out. And everybody who was thinking about selling, I think, really sold in these 4 days, and now they're pissed because now they see it. It's tough to time stocks without catalysts. I wouldn't have been long here at 70 or 60 or 65 or 60 or 58 because there's no clear catalyst. Now we have a clear catalyst with an upcoming announcement of some big order. We don't know which automotive manufacturer it is, but when they say significant order, that's a good tease. I got to give them props. They teased it well. They've got the analyst report saying that this is a $300 billion market, which, come on, this is some puffery going on here. But you have a technical breakout and strong volume. So I don't know if it stops at 80, 85. It could even go to $1 a share tomorrow. I don't know, but I'm glad to be long a small portion. I'm even gladder that I alerted it at 64 cents a share when I saw the news, and I know this stock's history. And I should also mention, some people were confused. Why am I buying it at 64 cents? The technical breakout is at 75. Well, by buying it early when the news had just come out, within 10 minutes of the news coming out and it had already spiked, you don't know how far the spike can go. And if you wait for the breakout, which did happen towards the end of the day, you give yourself very, low margin of error. What if it does? I mean, technically, it got to 74 cents on March 10th, which is a breakout above the 72, 73 here. So it was a technical breakout, but then if you wait for the technical breakout, you're like, okay, let me buy it at 73. And then for 4 straight days, it goes down. And you're like, I hate buying technical breakouts. Well, if you buy a technical breakout without a catalyst, it's risky. Also, these are penny stocks. It's not an exact science. So, if it tops here at 72 and then tops here at 73, it's not necessarily a breakout. You need a convincing breakout like we had today to 76, where now it's a clear breakout. And if it starts gapping up pre-market, which I expect it to do, and hopefully touch the 80s, if not the 90s tomorrow, then you have a confirmed breakout, and short sellers are scared. A lot of my critics saw the stock go from 65, 64-ish to 70-ish, within 30 minutes of my buy, and they're like, oh, it's just a Sykes pump. And they underestimated it. In the afternoon, they were silent when it just kept going. I don't want to pump stocks. You have to understand, most of my subscribers have very small accounts. I don't think people realize it. They see that I have all these subscribers. Most of my students have less than $5,000. You pick 1 or 2 big traders in another chat room or newsletter, and they will swallow all of my students combined. So it's kind of funny, but this is what my critics are saying. And so I welcome critics to short sell my picks. And if I'm buying, short sell into my buying, you'll be wrong more often than you'll be right, because I'm right more often than I am wrong. I'm sure that you can trade any kind of way. For most people, I wouldn't say trade anything off my alerts. My alerts are simply real-time reminders of the patterns that I teach. This was an earning, or this was a contract winner from the get-go. The question was, could it really break 74? And that was my target from the morning. And it took until the afternoon to do it. But now that it's done, I have a lot of leeway. Even if it doesn't break into the 80s or 90s tomorrow, the cool thing is I'm in from the 60s. So I have a very nice margin of error. I can sell it at 70, 72, 74, 75 if I'm wrong and still have an overall profit. That is why I like buying news quickly when you have stocks that have proven that they can run in the past. This has run for several days in the past. Today is just the first green day. So I think this has more legs. We'll see. I've been wrong. I've been wrong in the past. I'll be wrong in the future. But all I can try and do is try to pick stocks with catalysts, try to pick stocks with legs. And as you saw, I locked in some profits just in case, just to play it safe, and we'll see what tomorrow has. Thank you, guys. I'll see you in the chat room, and you Trading Challenge students, 9 a.m. Eastern, we have a webinar tomorrow, so tune in. Thank you.